Recognize that your mental health is so important. If you don't, then I promise you'll be so distorted. Stiffened by your thoughts, that's a mental rigor mortis. I'm on a hard mission and it won't be aborted. Assorted memories will seem to be your remedy, but in your darkest hour form into your enemies. Trust your gut, judge people off their energy. Cut them off quick and fast.
Days until Trump is out of office. We have our fingers crossed. We have a lot of people like Weldon Angelos, Alice Johnson, Sarah Gersten, and a bunch of others that are right now making phone calls, writing letters, talking to the legislature, talking to the White House, trying to get Corvain out of jail. So we're not going to count it out. We still got 3-4 days until Trump is out of office. Yeah. There's a lot of talk right now about it. Usually the presidents do their clemencies and their pardons, in the last week of their term. And so we really hope and pray that the next time we talk on this podcast, Corvain could join us.
That would be the follow-up to end all follow-ups. I might not even need to do
right.
So
I had chills when you just said that.
I don't want to, I don't want to count it out. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can only go on what's happened in the past, right? And the past is a pretty determining factor for the future. But it ain't over. What's the thing that it ain't over till the fat lady sings, right? That's the saying that they say. So, well, she ain't sung yet. And so January 20th, when Biden takes office is when she will have sung, at least for this administration. We believe that if he doesn't get it on this administration, that the next administration is going to hopefully do it. So
not only do I believe it's going to happen by power and affirmation, there's just so much work that you guys are putting into it. What's up? You're listening to the Expect Effect podcast, where the concept of self-care is our primary focus. Consider this an acknowledgement of feeling, the opportunity to birth every great idea within you. This is your weekly dose of me time, and you are on your second dosage for the day, for the week, actually. I'm your host. It's Just Nakia. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at It's Just Nakia. We also have personal pages dedicated to the show at the Expect Effect podcast on Instagram and Facebook. I gotta say, thank you so much for coming back for part 2 of our double release today. Now, our first release, listen, if you haven't already, I want you to go and listen to that episode right now. It is installment 1 of Laugh Now, Cry Later, Do Yourself a Favor, featuring Kendra Crump. Once a month, we're gonna take a break to just laugh. I'm gonna show some love to my first love of comedy, something I did well before I had my own podcast, and I'm just really excited for you guys to hear not only my first comedy set, but from Kendra, who's an amazing comedian, an amazing light. She was just so much fun. It's all jokes and all in good fun. And again, once a month, we're going to take a moment to do this. If you're a comedian or someone who's a comedian and they're interested in coming on this segment, have them email me personally. Go ahead and visit our website, theexpecteffectpod.com. You can submit an inquiry there. You can also fill out our Want to Be a Guest tab on our website, or you can email me directly. It's just Nakia at theexpecteffectpod.com. Go ahead and email us. Reach out to me on our website. Whatever you do, just reach out and we'll get you set up for this segment. But I'm really excited to kind of mold and shape this in different ways. So that's Laugh Now, Cry Later, Do Yourself a Favor, once a month here, featuring one comedian. So we're going to do that once a month here and just take a break from those themes that I mentioned in that episode also. So there's some important information regarding upcoming layouts of the show also. So just go ahead and check that out. That's Laugh Now, Cry Later, Do Yourself a Favor, featuring Kendra Crump. Really happy that we were able to drop that episode today. A couple of other things, man. Listen, get plugged in with the show on social media. That way you'll be able to see updates even when I'm away. That's at the Expect Effect podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And I've already mentioned it, but I'm going to tiptoe into a few other things when we're talking about that website where you can submit contact inquiries or even fill out a form if you're interested in being a guest. At theexpecteffectpod.com, you can also find web development services, audio editing services, immediate mental health resources, custom journal entry topics, and you can listen to the show in real time. There's so much to do and so much to see, so much you could even offer others. So go visit at theexpecteffectpod.com and find out in what way we can benefit you today. I definitely am excited for you guys as I continue to expand that website and offer resources to see how that information is shared and exchanged. We also have custom vent sessions available for anyone needing an ear or a shoulder. This is not certified therapy, not certified psychiatrist, nothing like that, but I am a certified life coach. So what I am able to do is give you an ear, shoulder of support, and practical real-time solutions to help you get organized and effective in the present moment. So if you're needing that ear, shoulder of support, look, this isn't a Kit Kat commercial, as I've said, but I'm here to give you a break. So just go ahead and get plugged in there. Listen, I don't want to talk your ear too much off with the particulars, but I did want to address those things. Now, getting into the meat here, getting into the dinner portion of our conversation. Part 2, the post-release of Corvain Cooper. If you remember part 1, we did the pre-release of Corvain Cooper where we had 40 Tons, that brand, come on and discuss with us the creation of their brand, as well as Corvain Cooper's backstory, what led to his wrongful imprisonment, and what they hoped for in terms of his release. And the snippet you just heard before we came in was Anthony, the head of operations for 40 Tons, stating, look, we got 4 days until the Trump administration is out of office, and it's not over for us in terms of at least this administration until we know that clemency can't be granted. And I refuse to buy into the idea that it won't until I'm at that very last moment. So we were 4 days out from this, and Anthony took a moment to just affirm that Corvain would be released and brought home within that 4-day period. I don't know many people who would be able to keep a light of positivity and an aura of hopefulness and an aura of this is still going to be okay when they're really looking at the crunch time of a 4-day period. It was clemency or life in prison. In January of 2013, to give you backstory just one more time, Corvain was arrested in California and charged along with 50 other people for conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute 1,000 kilograms of marijuana, along with several other law violations related to the financial side of the drug selling operation. Corvain himself was lower down in the hierarchy of the operation and hadn't actually made much money from his participation, but conspiracy charges are what allowed prosecutors to charge everyone involved in a drug supply operation for the same conduct, regardless of their individual role. This means that people near the base, like Corvain, may face the same penalties as those near the top. And in all of this, Corvain received a life sentence without the possibility of parole, and this was also tied into the 3 strikes law because he was on his 3rd related strike. So 3rd drug-related charge, and now we're looking at life in prison. So a man was taken away from his family, arrested in front of his daughter, and really put up towards the fight of his life. And we were here looking at 4 days, a 4-day window in which he could be released. And it turns out Corvain was released, and everything that we affirmed in that moment, everything that we spoke life over, it happened. And I was so happy to have Anthony and Corvain come back to have the discussion that you're about to hear. This is the post-release episode for Corvain Cooper, a man on a mission, and I'm just so thrilled to have this opportunity to share this all with you. Guys, before we get started, remember to visit theexpecteffectpod.com. There really isn't a site like it, and you're going to find so many amazing resources and tools. Again, we're not licensed counselors or therapists, but if you do need that vent session or ear, shoulder of support, listen, it is still trying times out here. We're here for you. Go ahead and book that session or find immediate mental health resources that are better tailored to your needs. We also explain the differences between life coaching and therapy, so make sure that you get locked into those resources. Now sit back. This is it until next week, but I promise you will see me next Wednesday. Thank you guys again for bearing with me during this brief hiatus, but I'm so excited. Get ready to listen to the post-release part 2 of our Corvain Cooper story.
Corvain Cooper, I just got released from clemency from President Trump, and I'm just happy to be here, man. I just was serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. I'm an ambassador for 40 Tons, and I'm just here to try to change and do as much impact as possible.
And my name's... Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted me too.
No, you're good. Go right ahead. I did just want to take a moment to highlight and say, Corvain, thank you so much for coming on. To those of you who are familiar with our first installment, we had Anthony here previously, but Corvain was not with us. So if you haven't listened already, I implore you, please go listen to part 1, the pre-release of Corvain Cooper, before listening to this follow-up. And Anthony, if you would just go ahead and introduce yourself to our guest.
Yes, my name's Anthony Allegretti. I am the operations director of 40 Tons brand, friend of Corvain Cooper since 1994, and happy to be here.
Sorry, we had some light technical difficulties coming off of mute there, but I gotta say, since 1994, so that's, gosh, over 20 years of friendship between you guys. And tell me a little bit about the bond that you were able to really maintain throughout Corvain's incarceration. What really allowed that friendship to flourish? Because I know sometimes it can start off really strong and then years, strain, things of that nature can weigh down. So how did you guys really stay up during?
In my opinion, I think because we had a friendship before he went to jail. And so we known each other since kids, known our family members. We always hustled together when we were young. We went to school together. We were in classes together. So we kind of already had a brotherhood thing. And then prior to going away and dealing with this situation, we had in the streets gone our own separate ways, but we were always cool. And because of that, we always had that relationship. And so then when he went away and then I went away and then when I came home, we reached out to each other and just wanted to continue what we had did before. And anything I could do to help try to get him home, I would. And so we just always did maintain that friendship. And Corvain is he's a real businessman. And since I'm a businessman, we just two peas in a pod. And so he would teach me how to move stocks and how to deal with the stock market when he was in. And we just developed that friendship over that. And then we could clown one another and make fun of one another and just joke and laugh and bring levity to the phone calls. And so that's where it started.
Man, Corvain, what has been the biggest benefit for you in terms of the connections that you've been able to keep while being incarcerated? I think for those who may not be familiar with the system or have family members in the system or have gone through it themselves, don't or may not have a full understanding of the type of weight it can carry to really have that kind of support.
I'm just so grateful for it. You feel what I'm saying? Just to have so many different organizations behind me, to have even Anthony as a friend, you feel what I'm saying, to keep the name going. It just started with just us saying 40 tons. Now 40 tons is going to take over and be one of the biggest impact brands in the world. Just to say something off your tongue and for it just to come to fruition is just, that's amazing within itself. And just, yes, the faith that you got to have, and just, you got to just start believing in things, and you have to say them and stand on them and believe them. But I'm overwhelmed with all the love that the cannabis industry is showing me. And I'm just thankful every day. I haven't took a break yet.
You haven't, like that, I will say. I've been following you guys on social media. You guys are running a 24/7 fundraiser campaign going on in Clubhouse. If you would take a little bit of time to talk about that and all of the fundraising that you guys have going on before we dive into further questions. But you guys are working nonstop. That is without question.
Oh, man, we don't stop.
Yeah, we don't stop. We're thinking about trademarking that and having other people have fundraisers on Clubhouse and trademarking that, because that was the first in Clubhouse history. And I stayed up 27 hours to do it. And we're raising money for my reentry, because when you're getting back into society, nothing's free. You know what I mean? So nothing's free. And you got to pay to play. So to come outside, to eat, it costs. To use the bathroom, it costs. To brush your teeth, it costs. To cut your hair, it costs. So everything costs. And we're in California, where everything is a little bit more expensive to live too as well.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Yeah.
We did that Clubhouse room with the East Coast Cannabis Network, and the host of it was a guy by the name of Carlos de los Bos. And he reached out to us and was like, hey, we want to do a fundraiser for Corvain. What do you think about that? 24 hours marathon fundraiser. And we're like, yeah. And it ended up going for 27 hours. Corvain stayed up for 27 hours. I had to tap out at 1:00 in the morning, and then I got back on.
I went to sleep. I had to go to bed.
Yeah, I haven't slept either in these last 3 weeks. I haven't even been home. I've been home for 1 day out of these 3 weeks, because it's just nonstop. And we're not complaining. We're happy. We're just telling the story. But that's what Clubhouse has done for us. And Clubhouse as a whole is just a really beautiful platform. I was able to get in on it early when there was about 35 to 40,000 users. And now today, I think it's in the couple million users. And so every day we're pushing it. And so
it blew up really fast.
I think that's how we met, wasn't it? Through Clubhouse?
Yeah. No, I heard you in a Clubhouse room. I think it was DJ Castro's room. And it blew my mind to just hear this story. And on that note, Corvain, I know you've been asked this several times and from a variety of perspectives, but if you could take me back to the moments shortly after everything that transpired on January 28th. So at this point, you've been arrested and now we have to make decisions, the next steps, and what thoughts are going through your mind and how do you feel at this time?
Now I'm just like, I think I can beat this thing on January 28, 2013. So that's why I took it to trial. But I'm thinking that there's no way in the world our justice system will find me guilty if the only evidence that you have is from three people that have a worse record than mine and that have just trying to trade their time out for mine to get a time cut when they have in black and white that the investigating officers said they never seen Mr. Cooper sell any marijuana or have any marijuana. So that was my deal breaker right there to take it to trial when there's no one ever seen me with any marijuana or sell any marijuana. That was a good witness to me. So it just, they let you trade. It's a system that needs to get broken and a conspiracy law that needs to change where a person in jail can trade their jail time in for you, you know what I mean, and take you off the street. Now they come off the street. So it's happening every day in the feds.
What impact did that have on you to take this thing all the way to trial, right? You have a phenomenal, sensational, very inspiring story. But in between that period of time, there are these years in which you spent separated from your friends, from your family, and actively working towards your release in different ways. So what happens after we go to trial and we see, no, we're actually going to get more jail time. This isn't going away.
It was kind of like it was an experience of a lifetime for once. And I went to trial with Evelyn LaChapelle and Natalia Wade too. So we all decided that let's go to trial. We've never been to Charlotte. We all can agree upon that. We've never touched the weed. We can all agree upon that. You feel what I'm saying? If we haven't been to Charlotte, we don't know anybody in Charlotte. We never touched the weed. And let's all take this thing to the door. So we all went to trial at the same time and got found guilty at the same time. So we're like three the hard way. We went through it all together and we're going to be together and we're going to get on the same way we're on the bottom together. We're going to be at the top together.
I love that. The same way we were on the bottom together, we were going to be on the top together. What is the top beginning to look like for you guys as the brand is building, it's flourishing, you're making these connections, we're having fundraisers. And for both of you, if you could just tell me like a quick second, what the contrast is like when you look back to what you guys have been through and how hard you guys have pushed for this to what you're experiencing right now.
For me, I see nothing but blue skies and oceans. And what I mean by that is we're going to the top. And like Corvain said, what took us down and really took him down is going to bring him back up. And so we want 40 Tons to be a social impact brand that actually does good out in the community. We want to get as many of the 40,000 prisoners released that are locked up over nonviolent cannabis charges. We want to just do good in the community as a whole. And when prisoners come home, we want to provide scholarships to them. And we want to be able to help these people pay for their books, their attorney fees and some of the smaller things like putting money on their books and just being a real true social impact brand. Tom's. For every one shoe that's purchased, another shoe goes to somebody that doesn't have shoes on their feet. And so that's the kind of brand that we want to be. And so we're going to use this cannabis space. We're going to use this cannabis story, and we're going to push the narrative that nobody should be locked up over weed, especially a life sentence. And so when you got someone like Corvain, who is the epitome of this industry and gave his life for this industry, it's now time for this industry to give back to him. And so we're going to build a true and honorable and humble brand that encompasses all of that. And we have a lot of great people on the team, like L'Oreal Allegretti, who's our CEO. She represents the mothers, the wives, the daughters. You met her before on the last podcast. We got Evelyn LaChapelle, who is also another warrior of justice. Natalia Wade, who almost died in prison on this case. And so all of these people coming together to push this movement is what 40 Tons is all about.
Man, I definitely, to some degree, I'm just speechless because there's so much grit here. There's so much honesty and there's so much resilience and determination in a situation where some people may have concaved or even yet gotten started and then fell back and found that they couldn't get up. So I'm just really in high admiration of both of you for being able to remain committed to yourselves and to the purpose that you then set forth. Corvain, what does the contrast look like for you from then to now?
Man, it's beautiful. Like I told you, I haven't took a break yet. I haven't went to sleep yet. And then another thing, I talked to Alice Johnson. She helped bring me home. And when I talked to her, she talked to me for 2 hours. And she said she hasn't took a break in 2 years. She's been home 2 years, and she's been a part. She's been on Air Force One with Trump, and she's been to the White House and rubbed shoulders and met new people in order to get in there to get people like me out. She got her co-defendant out, and she's just been pushing really hard. And you see the product, and that it can really happen. That a person can really get out and they can make change within themselves as long as they have a platform. I have to use the platform for the right, correct reasons, and I need to do the same and help get all the rest of the people out that's in the same predicament and that's living in the bathroom as well.
Man, and being committed to giving back and sowing those seeds is so essential. And I think that's another reason I'm just really so fascinated with your story and the brand, 40 Tons, and the work that is being done. Tell me a little bit about your first experiences as soon as you were out, like back in the open, you're able to touch people. I know it's COVID, so there are different things going on. People are masked up. What was your first day like, your first day out, if you will?
We went to the store, right? We went to Walmart so I can get like a phone. I found out that the Android phone, and it's like in jail, you think an Android is something good. When you get on the streets, you feel like an Android. Get out of here with that. So we're going to go get the Android so I can have a phone so I can call people on. A guy cut somebody in line, you know what I mean? And I just left prison where if you cut somebody in line in a USP prison, it just started a whole riot, and 8 people got stabbed and 5 was airlifted out the compound. So just to see that in the real world of people just not bumping into people and not saying, excuse me, that is big in prison, but it's not big on the street. You know what I mean? So that was like the first just thing to let me know, wait a minute, I'm really out on the streets and people are just doing what they're doing. And I'm in the real world now. I'm not in this confused world any longer.
Oh man, that is fantastic. And I think some people don't even think about the small dynamics or factors of readjustment or the work that it takes to go into that. And the fact that you have such a strong village behind you is everything. What word of advice would you give yourself if you could just go back in time, both of you, and talk to yourselves in 2013? What word of advice would you give yourselves?
Word of advice I'll give myself, to tell you the truth, I think this is all for a purpose and for everything to happen this way. So I wouldn't redesign it because I think the future is a little bit better, but I wouldn't condone any of the behavior that I did back in the days. And I don't know, because I just learned my lesson, but I think that all shapes me. So I think the bad stuff shapes me into a better person too, because now I know about it and I know the results of it. So that's going to make me help most of the kids. And every loss I just learned from my experiences, and it's just every experience is different. When you read, I got the book coming out, Look Into My Eyes, the series will be out 4/20. And I don't want people to judge me after they read part 1. Just let the story keep going so you can see how I'm growing in each chapter. You know what I mean? Each series, I'm going to grow. I'm going to go through some rough patches. You feel what I'm saying? But I just want people to learn me and get to know me a little bit better so they can see how I became the man I am today. It didn't just wasn't overnight.
As you are set to release that series, and Anthony, I do want you to answer the same question in a moment, but as you are set to release that series, what do you want the world to know of Corvain Cooper? What do you want people to see? Because there are definitely some people who are only going to see one side of this, and it isn't going to be positive. And there are those of us who are going to embrace the positivity and the change, and we're going to cheer you on and be in pursuit of your passions right alongside you. But what do you want people to know and think of you?
It's called Look Into My Eyes for a reason, because I want you to see everything that I've seen from my vision, from my eyes, and the way that I've seen it growing up and the way that I've seen it being in the game. You feel what I'm saying? I want everybody to see this, because the difference is, let's say if I got 10 years for the marijuana, nobody would care. It wouldn't be no hula about it. You feel what I'm saying? So the life sentence is actually was from God. So he can shape and mold me, help me read. I read over 1,000 books, and I read, by me being an author, I got to read over 300 authors, you feel what I'm saying, in their autobiographies and their story to see. So I got to really sharpen up my tools and learn the stock game and stuff like that. And, I'm a father that loves his kids, and I'm a caretaker of the family. I'm the glue to the family. I only hustle just to make the money illegal, just to do better for them. I even paid tithes on the money that I was selling with weed. So that just speaks of my character. But I never hurt anyone. I wasn't trying to sell anything to hurt anyone. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just here just to stop the next Corvain Cooper from going the same route I would. So I really want to talk to the youth. And I got a few nonprofits that I'm thinking about starting up. And I just want to stop the next person from becoming and going down the same path I went down.
That's powerful. And it speaks volumes to your character that you would pay tithes on your weed money. Because let me tell you, there was a period in which I sold drugs and did not. You get it how you get it. But jokes aside, I think it really just speaks to the fact that you always sought for a higher purpose. And you always knew there was going to be more to it, whatever that may be. Even in the unknown, you were willing to go forward on faith, and you were willing to do so blindly. Even when life was attacking you, your character, it didn't fold. Your heart, you definitely may have experienced troubles and low points and moments of sadness, I'm sure, but you kept moving forward. And the fact that you kept saying, I don't know what this is, but I know that he is, that's sensational. And it really speaks volumes to how you were able to mentally overcome a lot of that and what that environment entails. To your point, cutting people in line could then easily evoke an argument, whereas out here, that's just not something that may happen commonly. It very well could, but just wouldn't be a common occurrence. So thank you so much for sharing that. And to pivot, Anthony, what piece of advice, if any, would you give yourself going back to 2013?
If I could go back to 2013 and have any advice, it would be let's back it up to 2013. In 2013, I was already out of the game. So I had went to prison in 2007, came home in 2008 and had quit. So the advice that I would give is your past can always come back to haunt you. And so no matter how much in the future you think you're getting away with something, your past can always come back to haunt you. And so I would tell myself in 2013, or the person that is in this situation, is it's not worth it. It's not worth committing crimes. It's not worth doing things that could have a potential impact on you years down the line. I hadn't even seen anyone for almost 6 years. My past came back and I got sucked back into something that I was technically a part of just 6 years ago. So I would always say, my advice would be, it's not even worth getting into the hustle game in terms of doing a legal crime, because no matter what, they're going to find a way to come back and get you and come back and haunt you. And so just start the long way, start the hard way, work hard, stay passionate, stay persistent, and just dedicate yourself and your knowledge to doing it the right way. And even though it may take longer, it's going to have longevity. And so that's what the advice I give is, to not go down that route, of the illegal route ever.
Man, I hear you. I hear you there. And I think hearing this story from both of you, there are definitely going to be people whose entire perspectives shift right this day, and they're going to say, okay, I'm going to do something different, or I'm going to maneuver in this fashion, or they're going to ask themselves how they can improve right here in this second to further pursue their passions. So I really got to thank you guys so much for just coming on the show and following up with the first installment. And Corvain, man, I can't give you enough praise just for being such an awesome spirit. Anthony, I have to thank you as well. You keep on going, and you guys are pushing very hard. As we wrap here, I do want to ask 5 rapid fire questions. So these are going to be questions that we make up off top. But Corvain, I want to give listeners an opportunity to dig into your mindset a little bit. And Anthony, you can answer these questions as well. So they're open to both of you. The first question, what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is crazy because I like some Benihana's. I like some rice and meat, but I'm a fiend for some chicken and some fries too.
Man, I'm like literally battling getting fried chicken. I'm about to try Jollibee for the first time this weekend. I've heard they're pretty good, but I love fried chicken. I have a serious issue with chicken.
Mine is, I like tacos.
Oh, tacos are soft tacos or hard tacos?
I like all of them. Hard shell, soft shell, shredded beef, carne asada, chicken, whatever you want. I'm a taco guy, but I'm a meat and cheese dude, so I like meat and cheese tacos.
Okay.
We got these tacos out here. I'm telling you, I've never had a taco like it, called Worldwide Taco. It's in the hood on Third Ave and King, and it takes an hour to get your food. But I tell you, if anyone hears this, they know. If they know.
Okay. It's like that. If it's that good. Okay. Don't even need advertisement. Straight word of mouth. I need to go figure what that's about. Oh man. Okay. Second question. You can only choose one. So we're going to go with LeBron James and Allen Iverson.
LeBron James.
I got it. As far as like the swag and the impact of changing people from wearing suits in the NBA and his game and being short and have to go through the determination, I got to go with Allen Iverson as far
the underdog.
From the hood as the underdog. And he still, because he didn't win the champ, but he still put a sorry team on his back and took him there. But as far as accomplishing stuff and leaving a legacy behind and going to be the first billionaire basketball player to ever touch a ball and have his son play with him, and every team he go to, he won a championship and he delivered. And a businessman, I got to go with LeBron because we call ourselves LeBron and he's Rich Paul. You feel me?
Okay. I can see.
So he closes all the deals, and then you put in front, and I'm gonna dunk all the deals. So we mimic their style anyway because they were friends growing up, and that's his agent. You know what I mean? So who's the best person to break your money bread with? You feel me?
Absolutely, man. And I couldn't agree more. Corvain, you took the words right out of my mouth, but I'm a definite LeBron James stan. But if we're talking Allen Iverson, are we talking to practice? Like, I'm always down to have.
We can't sleep on AI, but if you said I could only pick one, I got to pick one.
No, I understand.
Kobe or LeBron.
Ooh,
that's what I really thought you were going to say.
No, I wouldn't do that. R.I.P. Kobe. We wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Kobe's the GOAT. Without question, Kobe is the GOAT. Oh, okay. That leads into question number 3. Do you have a favorite Mamba moment as basketball fans?
I went to every Laker championship too, by the way, that they won, and I've been going to Laker championship since Jordan won the Laker championship.
Wow!
But as far as I'm a big Laker fan, I don't know if you've seen the video when I first got out. First thing I bought was Laker outfit.
I did.
Favorite Mamba moment? My favorite Mamba moment is on April 13th, 2016, which was my son's birthday. He scored 60 points in his last game.
I remember.
That's one of my favorite. He's got a ton of things. 81 points.
I like the one where he pulled his jersey to the side and he showed his heart. You know what I mean? Like, I like that one. You know what I mean? Because you got to have heart. First of all, to even tell the coach that you're shooting the last shot and everybody's in the building waiting on you, and you're saying that I'm going to win the game for the team. You feel me? So that's a big responsibility. That's not a little responsibility.
Both of those were huge moments. Last game was epic in only Kobe fashion. And definitely when he told the coach, I'm taking the last shot, it blew my mind. I think for me, it was when Kobe made the free throws on the torn ACL.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this man is incredible. I think anytime you see somebody power through an injury, it's like jarring. Corvain, knowing that you're a dad, what is it like? And if I'm correct, you have 2 daughters, so you're a girl dad. What is your pro-parenting tip?
Pro-parenting tip, I would say, try to be closest to the kids as possible. You see what I'm saying? So they can open up more. You feel what I'm saying? So they can let them know, If you go too hard on them down, they're scared to say this type of stuff. So now they're going to go ask their friends when you want them to ask you. So you got to still let it have a little discipline so then they don't go just too crazy. But, I try to open up to them as much and let them open back up to me and still try to be like a friend dad too at the same time. You know what I mean? I'd rather them come to me than to go to their friends.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. I think that's an amazing perspective to have. Anthony, what's your parenting pro tip?
Man, just give them as much love as you can. Just stay loving on them. Always let them know that you love them. Always let them know that you got their back and always be that rock for them. That's what they didn't ask to be here. So we need to make sure that we always take care of them at all times and not take out our anger on them or anything like that, but just always love on them as much as possible.
Man, I love that. I love that. I love that. You guys are awesome. I just can't say that enough. Last question on the rapid fire question segment, and then we're going to wrap up and let the people know where they can find you and how they can get in touch with all of these amazing initiatives that you have going. What is a must-have? You're on a road trip. What's a must-have song on the playlist?
Fabulous. I got to have Fab in the car with me.
Okay.
The first thing, it took about 10 minutes to get the phone together just so I got Fab on the thing right now. I was going to go pick Evelyn up, and I needed to have my phone ready, and I needed Fab on. It keeps me in a calm mood. I feel he's talking for me. You know what I mean? It's crazy because every time I've met Fab, maybe 10 times, and every time we met and hung out, we kind of clashed. I think our egos kind of clashed, but other than that, I love it. His music speaks for me.
Fab is really, I think, lyrically underrated in present day. Like, I think people really don't give Fabulous enough credit in present day for just, he really does produce great work. I'm pretty sure I was listening to a Fabulous song earlier today.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Jay-Z.
Oh, man. Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Jay-Z, that a CEO's mind, that marketing plan was me. That's Jigga, man. I'm not a businessman. I'm a
businessman. Oh, yeah. It's,
you know what I mean?
Him and Nip got a new one I was hearing on the way over here. So
that joint rocked pretty hard. R.I.P. to Nipsey, man. R.I.P. to far too many.
Real rap. I got a lyric that Jay-Z says, but I tweaked it a little bit for me and Vay. I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong, 5 to be exact, from grinding green packs.
Oh, man. I love this energy. I honestly cannot get enough of this. You guys, real quick, let the people know where they can find you, how they can get involved with 40 Tons. Feel free to plug your personal handles and absolutely let people know. And we will also have this in our show description. Let people know where they can go ahead and donate to Corvain's reentry.
Absolutely. Yes. So you can go to the GoFundMe page, Corvain Cooper, type it in Google, Corvain Cooper, or text Corvain or text CV to 420-420, and you'll be able to get the link to the GoFundMe page. Also, you can donate to his reentry efforts at Cash App, which is $Corvain Cooper, CorvainCooper. To learn more about the 40 Tons brand and the amazing things that we're doing in the community, please visit our website at 40 tons. That's 40tons.co, not .com, .co, 40tons.co. You could go to our shop, which is on that website, click the shop button, and get your clothing and your t-shirts and hoodies and hats. You could get all that.
They got some ass merch, just like solid ass merch. They got some dope ass product. And if you can't tell, this is a dope ass story. So yeah, get over there.
We appreciate it. And we're working out the rules, regulations, and laws in order to get some products into the dispensaries in California only at the moment. And so we're working with our lawyers right now to make sure we do all that on the up and up, cross the T's, dot the I's, and just make sure that this is a space that we can navigate in properly. And so hopefully soon you'll be able to see us and pick up our products in California dispensaries. And so we're working on that. We just got a whole bunch of stuff. We got a TV deal working right now. We got a book deal on the table. Look into my eyes. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 comes out hopefully, God willing, cross our fingers, on 420. We're going to do everything we can to get that out. So make sure you go cop the book. That's going to be on Amazon and every other place that books are sold. And you can email us at info@40tons.co if you want to collaborate. If you guys want to do some media, some press opportunities, we're always looking to partner with really great brands, really great organizations. And if you guys just need help, if you're an organization out there that needs help and wants your story to be amplified, we have no problem talking about that. We want to help the kids. We want to help people that have been affected by the war on cannabis. And so we're here to help, we're here to love, and we're here to give back.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much. And make sure you guys get plugged in. Any amount is going to be a beneficial amount. Do you hear me? You can buy a pack of noodles with 25 cents. So just go out and give what you have.
Dollar go far. I mean,
do you hear me? Let me tell you.
Dollar go real far.
I watched a man, and I'll never forget, I watched a man walk into a gas station one time, very well dressed, and with the utmost confidence, he put $1 on the counter and he said, "Let me get that on pump 3. And let me tell you, like,
hey man, that dollar got him to where he had to go.
We got it right around the corner. So don't hesitate with your pockets. Don't question if your amount is beneficial. Just go ahead and give. Listen to these episodes. Share the message. Get locked into 40 tons. And guys, this has been another week of expecting better, doing better, and believing better. I'm your host. It's Just Nikia. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at It's Just Nikia. Most importantly, though, I'm not the show. So be sure to follow the Expect Effect podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And we've got a website, a really sensational website, and you can get plugged into all of our products as mentioned in the top half. Go visit the expecteffectpod.com. Anthony, Corvain, thank you again. I really had a great time, guys.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. You can also follow us on 40 Tons Brand on Instagram and Corvain Cooper on Instagram and on Facebook. So thank you so much, Nikia. You rock. Shout out Expect Effect Podcast. You guys are doing big things, and we appreciate you.
Man, thank you.